What is going on, everybody? I hope you're doing well. We're running a little behind here. I forgot to actually load the game I'm supposed to be playing, so I get to see my loading screens. 1 second. Dog. Alright, yep, we're set. Okay. Sorry. That sounds like it'll be okay.
I dream of
it. So, tonight we are going to cover a few things that are very important in this game, and that is making sure that your home base is in good shape. It's very easy to forget to check over everything. I've been spending a lot of time out in the deep desert. More time in the deep desert than I have in Hagga, which is funny because all my stuff's in Hagga. So, yeah. But, oh boy, I got somebody there. I gotta figure out how to get rid of that. I researched the stupid thing. I guess if I make it me, I don't. Anyway. Alright, so yes, here we are, back in home base. Getting that itch to make some changes to this place. I don't know. Or at least finish it. Like, this is just walls. Walls on the roof. I mean, I got some statues and stuff, but... one thing I want to talk about is this bad boy right here, which was a godsend. I was so excited when they created the carrier. Carrier container. Because you could put so much stuff into it. 15,000. This is basically everything I'll need to get my deep desert base back up and running. And I could carry it all out in like one shot. And that's great. But I was reading about this. Whoa, okay, we're going to shoot it. Easy. I was reading about this, and this thing is technically considered a vehicle. And as you can see, mine has taken a wee bit of damage. Apparently, these things do not survive storms. So if you leave it sitting outside, especially in the deep desert, where when you get a storm that rolls through in Hagga, if you click on the map and look at it, it'll have like a little 1 beside it, meaning it's like a level 1 storm. Deep desert storms are like level 3, and then of course the Coriolis is like level 5 or whatever it is. But apparently these things can get torn up really badly if you leave them exposed to the elements. So I had not even thought about that. I was just like ignoring it. So make sure that you take some time to repair your cargo carrier if you build one. It doesn't appear as though it has like other vehicle parts where they just can't be fixed to a certain point where you've got that permanent damage. So it looks like these things just, can go back to maximum. But yeah, apparently you leave these things out in the storm, they break. When they break, everything falls out, and that really becomes an issue. Like here with mine, I've got 8,600. Let's just say 9. I got 9,000 volume in this thing. Well, my little behind here can only have 100, which means to pick all this stuff up and save it, I'd have to pick things up for like 100 times, unless I had another vehicle that I could try to switch it for. And I've also seen, can't verify this, but people are saying that if this thing gets damaged beyond repair, destroyed, or broken, you can access it, but you can't fix it. And if it gets completely destroyed, then all of this stuff would just be laying in a little backpack on the ground. I couldn't imagine trying to put 9,000 volume into something. You'd have to make another carrier and switch it from there. That would be horrible. So that's something I wanted to cover right away. In fact, like you said, I just logged in here myself, but to see that mine did in fact take a little bit of damage. And make sure you repair your container if you build one. Maybe we'll make one and leave it outside, see what it does. I could put all this stuff in boxes, but maybe. But yeah, repair your container. Always repair your container. Couple things that I want to talk about today is there are 3 things that you need to worry about your base on a constant basis. Number 1, taxes. Make sure you pay your taxes. If you miss a week, it's not like, things go bad. You can fall behind and have like 2 cycles worth of unpaid taxes. But if you're playing, just, remember to get in there and pay them taxes up. You can see how much you owe either by going to your subfief and clicking on it, or I don't know if I can do it here. If you get outside of what your subfief is and then enter back in, I'm gonna fall to my death here. There it is. So as you can see, my taxes are paid. That's just by leaving my property and coming back onto it. And I got 23 days worth of power, so that's pretty exciting. But I did not want to do that. But yeah, your taxes, it's real easy. Whether if you're Atreides, go to Arakeen. If you're Harkonnen, go to Harko Village. Go talk to the person. I think you can pay them in either spot too. So, yeah. But yeah, just make sure you pay your taxes. In the early days, that's kind of rough because you're like, dude, if you don't have an ornithopter of your own, you got to take the taxi service, which costs Solari. Then you got to go to the tax guy and pay it. That costs Solari, and then you got to take the ride back, which is free. But in the early days, it's not. It's a bigger problem than it is in later times. But like for instance, right now I've got 4.5 million. I don't really notice the 30,000 my 2 bases cost me. But key point here is pay your taxes. Log in every 2 weeks, pay your taxes. That's all you're gonna do. That's one of the important things. The issue also there is you got to have the money. So if you don't have some bank account money built up, that's what you got to work on. The second thing is water. My base here at home currently has 1.4 million water storage, and it is maxed out. That is one good thing about spending so much time in the deep desert. I ended up stockpiling water here, even though I did draw from it quite a few times. I've got 4 units here on the roof. Was able to build it back up pretty quickly. But you need to go to your storage and check and see how many filters you have in reserve. You can look at the fuel management. This thing has it takes 5. Each one of these advanced particulate filters is going to be 20%. So what I did was I went and made a bunch of these. You need spice residue, you need water, and you need plant fiber, and I think some plastanium ingots. We'll check on that. Yikes. To make these, but always have a backlog of them. As you can see here, I have 31 in stock. When I was out in the deep desert all this time, I was of course making spice, so I've got more residue. I actually threw some out in the sand and let the desert have it back. I just don't have the space for it. I've got 2 full containers. Good Lord. I still got some stuck in vehicles in some places, so spice residue, not a problem once you get up to them large things. The large spice refinery. I'll say it properly. But yeah, so I just came back and I thought, you know what, let's make 40. And I put some in the container for when I do go back to the deep desert. So I've got some there. So here, I'm just going to click on this and that's going to fill that up. I've got 1 here and 1 here, and then I've got the exact same thing on the other side. And they should all be in about the same shape. Now, even though my water reserve is full, when it's full, these machines shut down. So if I ever use water, they turn back on. That affects this number right here. I can make 3625 is my power output. I'm at 1100, but the thing is, when I go, even if I go just take a drink from or fill my liter john, all 4 of those machines are going to kick on. So we're going to get 135 4 times, at least while they're trying to run. So again, make sure that this number is never more than 2/3. I like being around half to 2/3, we'll say half to 3/4. But yeah, I can do 36. I'm making 36 and I'm using 1100. That way, if things come on, or if I want to come back and turn a bunch of machines on and make some stuff, I don't have to worry about it. So we have filled up both of these units. We'll go get the ones on the other side of the roof in just a second, because I'm going to drop a mine there for no reason other than hitting the wrong button. We're going to take a look at this guy here. It's the wind turbine. She's at 74%, giving me 23 days worth of power, and I get 350 out of it. So that's where some of this number comes up. I have 3 on this side, 3 on the other, 6 total. I want to make sure these guys stay running, and to do that you need to put industrial grade lubricant in. So as you can see, I've got a ton in my stockpile. Another thing, this uses spice residue and some other materials. We'll check that out when I get down there. But I just keyed this up when I got back from the deep desert on Monday, and I keyed it up and was like, make 900. I don't know how many I need, but I'm gonna need them. I need them for both bases. So we made a ton. So we're gonna click on this and get this to full. Now it's at 31 days, and I said I had 6 total, 3 and 3. The other ones are over here. They should be roughly in the same area. 24, 23, so they were close, but not really. Okay, so that's this whole side. Awesome. We should go back up here. Oh, actually. Oh, I hurt myself. Then I grabbed on. Come around the corner. Hit control. That drops you to the ground. The reason I said that is because I spent a long time not knowing how to let go. It's terrible. Felt like an idiot. Alright, so come over here. And this one is 25 days. Only need 95 to get this one up. 136. I mentioned in the description that sometimes like I'd go out and I would be like, oh, let me check these units. So I would go and pop onto one and see where it's at and see where my total power was for the whole time, and maybe drop a few in if I had some. So that's what I meant by not totally ignoring the requirements here at my base. But check this guy. See, he's at 88, so this one was even fuller. Alright, so there they are. All 6 of my generators now are completely maxed out, and I don't have to worry about a problem for another 30 days, so a month. I'll check on them regularly, but right now I'm down to 851 of this lubricant. I don't like that to get below like 300 to 500. So I'll just keep an eye on that as I put more of these in. Maybe we'll go, because I do have a lot of residue. We'll make a whole bunch. Have a bunch in reserve just in case. We got to put some filters into these guys right here. Just one. Like I said, I really hadn't been using it for that long, but there we go. So that takes care of my roof. Boop. Very windy. So there are 2 places that you have to go to worry about stuff like that. The first one, we're going to come over here and we're going to look at our medium chemical refinery. Explosions. So for the industrial grade lubricant, which is the big wind generators that I'm using, I need 15 water, 6 fuel cells, 4 silicone blocks, and 5 spice residue for every single one of these things. And each time you make one, it makes 10 little bottles of it. So that's good. For the big units I was using up there, that's, I think, 2%, 10 of them. So you can see it takes quite a few. And I have a box over here completely dedicated to industrial lubricant. This was what we just used. Came out of this amount. So there we are. I don't have that much left. So we're going to key this bad boy up to make some more. I have the materials. This is one of the more important things. I'd rather make this than repair something that I may not use, because again, this is where I keep all my stuff. Before we do that, I want to point out these guys here. Spice infused fuel cells. these are what powers the really super awesome generators. If you look under utilities, went past them. It's these guys right here. These require those spice infused fuel cells. You get 1,000 watts of energy. I don't know. But you get 1,000 total from it. And you can see how much the units use. If it's green, it's generating. If it's any other color, it's using. So even the pentashields use a tiny bit. But I made one of these generators just because you have to for an achievement. But to be honest, at the level I'm playing and what I'm doing, it makes sense for me to use this because I need to get rid of spice residue somehow. And the manufacture of these guys is 200 water, 30 fuel cells, 65 spice residue, so I'm glad to get rid of that. Then we got this little magical irradiated slag. These things can be quite an investment to get, especially with this irradiated slag. One of the things we're going to do tonight is I'm going to show you how to get decent amounts of that. There's 2 ways to do it. Well, there's 3 ways. One is it'll get you by. Another one is probably better. And then the last one is the preferred method to spend your time with. As you can see, I went and got some in my little route that I went. I just did one little run through it, and it ended up getting me 220 fuel cells. I'm actually going to transfer these over to my backpack, and we're going to look into this. Now, one thing I'm noticing here, I'm out of fuel cells. I only got 26, so I can't make too many of anything right now that I need. So we're going to have to get fuel cells. So fuel cells and irradiated slag are definitely on the list today. Let's go ahead and just max those 4. We'll get them at least going. My goal would be to have this box completely filled. Then I feel comfortable. It doesn't have to be completely filled, but the more filled this is, the better off I feel. I don't think, there's nothing in the overflow box, so there you go. And let's run up here before we go too far. And we'll go to this, which is our advanced survival fabricator. And if you click on this bad boy and you go to the little chemical bottle, boop, it's where you can make your advanced filters. Water, plastanium, it doesn't need plant fiber, yeah, silicone blocks as well, a bunch of spice residue, and 1 melange. So those filters are kind of pricey. This you'll have laying around. These you find all over the place. This is easy to make, but it's a pain in the butt to go get. You got to harvest flower sand. I wish the crawler could do it. This you'll get if you're making spice. This you'll get if you're making spice. And this you can get out in the deep desert without putting yourself at risk. So these are actually pretty well in line for anybody to have in order to get those large wind traps, which honestly, from my opinion, is the best way to go. Water generation, let's talk about that real quick. When you first start out this game, you can't go too far away from flowers. It's the only way to keep yourself alive. So you're constantly making sure you got flowers nearby to drink from. And then as you get from like the copper into the iron, steel, up through the different levels, I guess they would be, advancement, society advancements, whatever. These things. We'll actually go in and look at it. Research. So you have copper products, iron products, steel products, and that carries through all the way through. Your stuff gets progressively stronger and better when you go. So here, you're in copper. You could make a recycler, a cutter array, and a power pack. You get to iron. You can, what do you get from this? Oh, advanced console and Chome factory set. So you got to get to steel before you're getting this stuff. What don't I have? Oh, never made a base reconstruction tool. Let's look at water. So you got to get to steel before you can make a medium water cistern, but at the copper level, you could make a small one. It's only got 5,000 water, but that's pretty decent. Problem is, you don't have a way to get water into that. You can make a small liter John and then collect it and dump it in there, but that really doesn't work too well. The fun time happens when you get to the iron products. You can make a dew reaper, so you can swoop it across the ground, stick it in your liter johns, then you can come running in, stick it into the regular water cistern. At that same time, you get the blood purifier. You can do this one, and you get a basic extractor, but you could do the better one, and you get a better extractor, and you get the little blood bag that you carry around. So you're using basically still flowers, but you're able to get it better, and you're using people you kill to help make water. Once you get up here into right about aluminum products, water's not going to become an issue anymore. I don't have anything to purify bud. I can do death stills, the Fremen death stills, and I can do the water traps, and that's basically where I get most of my water, is from these two things. I couldn't tell you the last time I used a dew reaper or even a dew scythe, just because it hasn't been required. Same thing with the blood purifier and the blood extractors and stuff. But the key point I'm trying to make here is when you first start out, you're going to be really skimping on water, and it's going to be hard to find. You're going to have very small cisterns. I remember when I built my first one, I thought it was so badass. But then once you progress up into these levels, you're going to find that these earlier products don't really come into play anymore. And this is where you're going to live. So these are the things that you're going to feed. You're going to collect bodies and bring them home, stick them in a box so that you can turn them into water. And you got to get the stuff to make filters. So the same thing happens with power. When you first start out, you're making the little small generators from salvaged metal, throwing fuel cells in them to run, and it works. As you get these bigger machines and more of them, you're going to need wind traps. This one is the early wind trap. Oh, this is taking water. What am I doing? Here you go. The wind turbine, omnidirectional. This is a unit that just sits there. You stick regular lubricant into it, and it generates power. I had a bunch of these on top of my base. Once I was able to make the directional wind turbine, that's all I roll. It's 350. You can get a bunch more of these, but it's not that hard to keep these guys running, as you can see there. Especially if you're making spice and you're got spice residue laying all over the place. And then move into this. Now, you've seen my deep desert base is powered by these two things right here. Technically, I don't need these. I could just make another one of this guy, but I'm not that good with radiated slag. I don't have that much of it laying around, so we can't get too crazy with the Cheese Whiz, but don't be afraid of making this once you're starting to get plastanium ingots on a regular basis, spice melange on a regular basis. They're worth it because you could pop a bunch of those fuel cells in and you go. Honestly, I think the only problem with these things is the irradiated slag can be difficult to come by. But yeah, I don't normally, I don't make this stuff down here. The fabricator machines, you're going to want to keep those. Like you might ask, why do I have the original one here when I have an advanced one? Well, if you look at this, under this bad boy, here's my copy and reproduce the layout for a base, and here's my staking units, right? It's going to be hard to find them in this thing because they ain't in there. So that's why you need to have the old production machines. But you don't need to have the old wind traps and utility stuff. Match the utilities to your requirements. These guys you always kind of have to have on hand just for making other things. If you don't ever go to the deep desert and you never need to do any staking or expanding your base, then you really don't need this. I think that's the only thing I use this use that for. Sorry. I mean, respawn beacons would be nice. Can make unique schematics out of it. That's at least good, but only to a certain point. Yeah. Something else I get from this all the time. Oh, Holtzman shield. Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Am I saying it right? Is it Quoozy? Let me know. I make the Holtzman shields out of this thing and the suspensor belts out of it. So, suspensor belts, Holtzman shields, and then staking units. But, anywho. I've got those fuel cells in my pocket. Let's go get rid of those things. But before we do, I'm going to show you some silliness. When I first started building this base, I came down here, and as you can see, I've got tons of water tanks down here. I don't ever really go over here. They used to expand all the way over, too. That one's backwards. This is a medium tank. It can hold 250. And the reason I did those was because they're relatively easy to make. Sorry. The big difference here, it's just steel ingots and silicone blocks. I say just because you also have to do duraluminum silicone blocks and then industrial pumps in order to make the bigger tanks. A lot more duraluminum. You need 150 versus 60 steel. So what I did was I would put 4 of these things in because you could stick 4 on a single space here on the floor, single square, which is the same number that you can fit here. You could try to squeeze them, overlapping, but pretty much it's going to be a 1 square footprint. This guy here holds 100,000 water. So it's the exact same thing. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Who cares? The problem I ran into was this right here. Boop. Storage, 117 out of 150. You can only have 150 storage items. That is storage boxes and also water storage. I was not aware of that. So I maxed this number out because I had tons and tons and tons of those little tanks. And I'm like, well, I'm getting over because I don't have to use the industrial pumps. Yeah, we paid a price on that. That's the, lights are always an issue. But that's where I maxed out so much. And actually got to the point where it would give me the, because I'm Australia. All right, makes sense. KW Ozzy. So I'll call you Ozzy from now on. That'll work. But yeah, this is what happened. I maxed this number out, and then I was like, I can't even make a box to put anything in. And I started to learn that you're going to need more box storage than you are water storage. That's where most of mine came from. This has me kind of in a trap right now because these guys are all full. So I can't get rid of them because they're full of water and I don't want to waste it. What I ended up doing was I started to build... Oh, and the big tank doesn't fit down here. So that's what this room is over here. It's nothing but the big tanks. So honestly, what I would love to do is continue this concept all the way around the back wall and this wall and replace all those little tanks with the big ones, because that's 4 storage units versus 1 storage unit for the exact same amount of space and the exact same amount of water. But I'm trapped now because I'd have to empty out all my leader johns and directly pull from it. As soon as I do, the machines are turning on. But yeah, I'd have to empty them out and destroy them and then build one up here and either refill the water or let it do its thing, whatever. But right now, all my leader johns are full from tearing down the cheers, brother. But yeah, it after leaving the deep desert base, I come back with all the excess water I didn't use. So one day I'm going to have to get to the point where I'm going to make a big production order, which is going to empty a bunch of tanks. and then I can empty my leader johns into the reserve, go downstairs, empty 4 of those bad boys and destroy them, come up here, make another big one, and go. The issue with these guys is are those industrial pumps. They are the hard thing to come by. Eventually you'll get enough duraluminum, eventually you'll get enough silicone blocks. The industrial pumps are wicked. The only place you can get them is, went too far out. Where you at? Sentinel City is what I'm looking for. There it is. Sentinel City, which is the big Godzilla looking thing. It's actually part of Fremen lore that this was actually some creature that looked over them. Apparently, he didn't do a very good job because the Sardaukar came and now they're not in the game. But yeah, right here, Eastern Shield Wall, right in this side. You head in here into Sentinel City, and that's where you can get industrial pumps. I don't like going there because it really lags my computer out. It lags everybody's out. Everybody has issues with that thing. I don't know what's going on in there, whether it's the lights or whatever. So a run into Sentinel City is not fun. But you can usually come out of Sentinel City with enough to make at least 1 tank. And then you just have to wait for it to respawn and you can get yourself another one. So, dedicate a little bit of time each day to run Sentinel City and put up with the lagginess. Maybe we'll go run it just to show you. But you'll get enough industrial pumps to at least make 1 ginormous tank as long as you've got duraluminum and silicone. Place number 2 is right here. Visit old Zoe at the crossroads, and she will sell you 15 pumps, enough to make 1. So theoretically, you can get 1 a week from her and 1 per run from these guys. The good thing about it is you don't really need industrial pumps for too many other things. There are some ornithopter parts that you're going to need it for. Yeah, crash ships, sometimes they'll have them too. Good point. But, man, it's a pain in the butt. I did it, obviously, but it's a pain in the butt. But once you do it, you don't really need too many of them. I think ornithopter wings require those. We can check that for a second. But yeah, you need 25 pumps. So 1 run in Sentinel City and a visit to Zoe per week and you'll get 1. Sentinel City you can run as many times as you want. Like I said, I'm pretty sure there is some type of ornithopter wing. Yep. So ornithopter wings use industrial pumps. Probably assault ones as well. They use the fluid efficient pumps. And then for a carrier, they use regular, but not too many. So once you're in the air, there's not much else that you need industrial pumps for. So start making some water. Blow up your smaller cans. That way you don't have to worry about it. You will notice that on almost every level of mine, I have some type of a can here. This is like when I take him out, go out and do stuff. When I come back in, I just run up here and get water. I've also got the same thing up in the top hangar. When I fly in, I can just run over to a smaller tank because these things get access to the complete reserve of water. This one's got 25,000 in it, so I could take 25,000 out of it. But once I exceed that, it's just going to make this number keep going down and this side goes down. So apparently we are incredible plumbers in this game, and we're able to place a tank down and instantly pipe it to the existing reserves. I'm glad they didn't make that something else, like you had to attach it to it. Base building is fun, but man, let's not get too crazy. All right, so now back on the power discussion. In this room here is where I keep some of my off generators, the stuff that's in addition to the things on the roof. These guys are just kind of backups, to be honest. The roof is what mainly powers the base, but I do have to pay attention to these. And this should be kind of low, right? Yeah, 20%. Sounds like there's somebody flying out there. Might have a visitor. But here we are. I've got 280 in there. I'm going to go ahead and just deposit all of them, and you'll see it takes me up to 76. I got 23 days worth of power, but now I'm out of these. And these guys got 12 days. I've only got 2 fuel cells in the unit. They're at 60%. We know that in order to make... oh, that was that generator making that noise. Okay. We know that in order to make more lubricant, more power cells, we need fuel cells. So, we're going to go get some. Easiest way I found to get them, honestly, the deep desert's full of them, but man, I just feel like a weirdo going out to the deep desert to get power cells or fuel cells. From where my base is, I usually have quite a few laying around. The ones that spawned here, for some reason I can't pick up. I don't know why. There's something that goes on in this little section. I don't think it's because of me building there. But yeah, if I get some that are like right over there, I'll hit them with the laser and they just don't do anything. So, we are going on a little sightseeing adventure. There's never anything on this wall. But we're just sticking to it because we have been trained to stay close. And we're just going to make some circles here. This is a good place to get plant fiber. There's one. So, through the active advancement, I have gotten the Mark 6. This is a base level buggy. I don't have the extended boot. I don't have the super awesome cutter array. So this is just top tier, but not super tier. And I'm too close. So we got to move a little bit. There we go. So I got 840. With the advanced stuff, like my deep desert base, my deep desert buggy, will pull in like 11 something on that. But I gotta be honest, dude, 860 is gonna be just fine. If we look here, do you remember I told you I had some spice residue somewhere? That's where it is. I got melange hiding too. We are actually going to litter. I would not advise that. Whoop. Because littering is bad, but we are going to pull as much of this stuff as we can out of here. Should be able to get at least that much. So, what I'm going to do is come over here, and we're just going to drop it on the ground. If any of you need spice residue, you're probably going to be really mad at me about this. But trust me, once you start getting things rolling, you will never need spice residue. It's everywhere. Hit the button too many times. We'll come over here, and we're going to drop this. Doot doot. Litter bug, litter bug. Can it do 250? It cannot. Of course it can't. Come on. Thank you. 233. Well, the sound of that bell. Ooh, let's not hit that button. The sound of that bell just reminds me of how little I have paid attention to my Masquerite friends. They are probably starting to actually rebuild their society and live again. We can't have that. So we got to get back on track to slaughtering them. Alright, that should be enough for right now, because we're not out here for a super awesome day. Let's pull you down, and you over here. Pull you down. I'm going to leave the melange in there, because we're not going to get that many, but this is what really matters to us. And we are going to go find some more of them things. But you're going to want to find a route near your base that doesn't take you too far. I wouldn't go more than 1 kilometer away. And while you're doing that, you will probably find some decent outcroppings of plant fiber. The deep desert is also a good place for plant fiber, probably better than Hagga. But what I do is I usually collect plant fibers on little runs like this just to kind of break up the monotony. And it's always a wonderful surprise when I get back and be like, oh wow, I've got 1,000 plant fibers. I'm not going to stop for those two. If I find a big grouping of them, then I definitely will. Should still be in range, right? Come on, thank you. What's up, guys? So we're about 1 kilometer away. I'm gonna turn back around. Yeah, I think I can make it through there. Should we hit this person? Yeah, I totally hit that person. I don't know why it didn't count. Remember me? Oh, you're locked on my vehicle now. You're dead. I just wanted the plant fibers. Strange that I've never been to this place. I don't want the meatballs, but you know what? We'll take them because we're here. You didn't have any friends? No? Alright. Ah. Boop, boop, boop. Now, if I really wanted to, I could take the time to pop those couple fuel cells that I got from killing that guy into the buggy, but we're not gonna completely fill either one of these things, so not too excited. I got a little crop right here with some plant fibers. We'll jump out. And might as well grab these guys. Boop, boop. Boop. Calm yourself. That's usually much better. Instead of just 3, there's normally like 6 to 8 there in that spot, so I don't know why we're so terrible. Yeah, we're about half a K away. Up and over. Might have to go to the deep desert just to get enough fuel cells. Yeah, there's worse things. Alright, we're going to do a swoop around here. I see some plant fiber. I might as well stop and get it. Another good place for me is right on the other side over here. Up in this little outcroppings, there's sometimes some fuel cells laying around. There's some. Easy. Whoa, did you see that? A little crazy. Man, I do like the hotkeys that they added in. They were a little rough. No, I'm not going to stop for you. Alright, we'll see what's up here. And home is right over there. So it only took a few minutes. The buggy pulls a lot in. If you go up on the shield wall, there's a ton of fuel cells up in there. I honestly would rather just make short little trips like this for fuel cells, because I know if I get up in there, I'm going to start bringing home a bunch of aluminum. So that'll be good enough. Do 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 do. Coming in hot. Sorry. Okay. So this solves several problems. Because we needed fuel cells for the lubricant and for... Yeah, dude, look at this. This is crazy. I got that stuff everywhere. I ended up getting 125 plant fibers. We weren't really trying, so it's a benefit. Fuel cell storage, I only had 2 in here. We go here. We go to the buggy. There we go. So we got quite a few now. So we can go up and we could start some more of that industrial lubricant to make sure we have plenty of that for our generators on the roof. And then we're going to focus on getting enough stuff for these guys here. I can make 3 because I have 10 irradiated slag, and it takes 3 for each one. But we're not going to focus on that right now. So I went from being able to make like very few of these to making 422, 10 in each box. That's 4,000. That's crazy. You got to be careful with these guys. You can only hold 100 in a stack. So if you make too many, it's going to fill up. That'll work for right now. I'm going to take these with me. We'll just put this in the box. Like I said, keep in mind everything on my roof right now is completely full. So these were excess to begin with. And now we've got a... stop it. Got a whole bunch more being made. Oh, I stole that out of my buggy. We'll put it back. Shoot. So yeah. Next up are these spice fuel cells. I have none, but you saw the machine was good, and I do have some in the carrier. Let's go up to the carrier here real quick. So I make 4 units, so I can put 125 in each one of them. That's going to be enough usually to get me through the whole week out in the deep desert. I bring 5 sets of filters. I have 4 units on there, so that's an entire set for the week. And I use 2 generators. I run 50. That's enough for a week. So honestly, in the box here, I've got a full week of deep desert fun and adventure. I run all 3 machines in there. So I have the medium chemical. I have the large ore and the large spice, and all of those can run off of what you're seeing for these supplies. So I know my deep desert setup is good. Everything else now just needs to be Hagga Basin. And of course, I'd love to have more of this, but we need to make those guys. Let's say we needed them right now. I'm going to set this up to do a max of 3. Now I'm out of irradiated slag, but let's say I need them like right now. If you expand this, you'll notice that you get an arrow up on your items here. So if I click this up, it now moves it to the next thing. This is going to shut down, and then it's going to switch over to be making the fuel cells. You can see right there. And then once they're done, it'll switch back to here. So let's say you set up a machine to make 500 or something, and you're only like 20 into it, and you're like, oh, I forgot to make this, and I need this right now. Key it up, go in, expand it, and you can just move it up. It'll stop what it's making, switch to the other one, and then when it's done, it goes back to what it was doing. That's a pro tip right there. So here we go. For that, we're just going to drop them into storage. Like I said, dude, those are bulky. All right, so I got 10 fuel cells, but most of the machines are okay. And I've got, what is it, 20 more coming out of this guy. If you look also under storage, you'll see that I have this one exiting to a different circuit. Circuit 6 is this box right here, which is MCR overflow. That is for the medium chemical refinery. So anything that can't fit in the chemical refinery immediately drops into this box. If you don't and have everything set for circuit 1, it's going to end up somewhere. And a lot of times it doesn't make sense. You'll go like 2 floors away and there's a box with stuff in it. And you're like, how did this get here? It's because your machine overflowed. All right, there you go. So it finished that. Now it switched back to it. So hooray. And now we can leave this thing to itself. But we need to grab more irradiated slag. And where does one get irradiated slag? Yeah, from good old Shoal or Soul down here. These things. You can get irradiated slag out of those small wrecks. And you can also get it out of, I don't know why there's a checkpoint there. I'm trying to show everybody. There you go. You can get it out of the wreck of the Aurora, that thing. This is the bigger ship. This is also part of a quest line, so there is a chance, because people will be specifically being directed to this. It's for the Lasgun quest line, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, you can get them from these little guys out here. If you're... Why is that? I was there yesterday. It's interesting. Yeah, I'm 100% complete. 7 out of 6 shipwrecks. 8 out of 9 camps. What is going on? But I will usually come down and I'll hit this and hit this and hit that one. I'll hit this one, and then on my way out, I come out of here. This is actually not in the radiation zone, so you can put on regular armor. And I can usually come out of this little circle with about 60 or 70 irradiated slag, so enough to make 20 of those fuel cells, but they come in groups of 10, so I can make 200. And that's pretty good for what I need to, keep the bases I'm running now. I'm going to show you how to be a little more improved with that. But I want to do 2 things right now. First off, we're going to put on our goofy looking radiation suit. And we are going to head to those shipwrecks, and I'll show you how much we can get from them. Been a long time since I came out of the hangar, man. And apparently we... Oops. I wanted to actually make this my spawn point, but got distracted. That's okay. So we put the radiation suit on. I'm using a Mark 6. I used to use just a Mark 5. They give you enough protection. I don't do the iodine pills anymore. I don't stay in here long enough to need it. But if you want to use them, by all means, can't hurt. Just makes things go better. So I'm looking here. I see a small spice patch there, small one over here. I hear all sorts of crazy sounds going on. The deep desert has ruined me on spice, man. This is how I made most of the stuff I have, was gathering these little guys. Now I'm just like, little guys. I think not. Become the monster. Alright, so we're going to come in here. The monastery base is directly in front of us, but we're going to make the loop that way. So what you want to do is just fly down here. Some of these are going to have bad guys in it. Some of them won't, but all of them are PvP zones. You want to fly around. If you see another ship, there's a good chance that that's a person. That there's a person lurking about, because there shouldn't be any ships around here. So, vacate. Funny, these guys die pretty quick. Oh. Especially when you've been out fighting deep desert people. Come on, douchebag. Drop that shield again. Got him before he did the explosion. No, you're not gonna need it, sister. Okay, so they're dead. And you just want to kind of make sure there's nobody else about. If you took some damage, go ahead and heal it. Throw some water in. Doesn't seem like there's anybody about, so in we go. There's going to be irradiated slag in the chests on both sides of these. There's one that's different, but we'll go to that one later. So I'm going to run over here and run over here. And I'm going to let those explosions go off. We'll run through the fire a little bit because we're cool. Set them off. Pull these. So I got 4 irradiated slag out of that box. Now I'm just going to head back to the route that I started. There's 6 there, so we're at 10. This is a quest item, so it only has a little bit of Solari in it, but hey, why not? We already got that one. Our last one is in here, behind this closed, locked door. You will drop your shield when you're cutting. So what I like to do is scan, peek. Nobody around. We'll hit them both, and then I immediately switch over to sword. Still nobody. Perfect. And 4. So we came out of here with 14 irradiated slag. Not bad for a single ship. That's the first one. You can see we're only about 1/8 of our gauge for... Oh, I was supposed to hit enter. Our gauge for the radiation poisoning, so we're doing fine. We're going to head to this one now, which is due east, and then we'll head to this one. Super windy. Again, doesn't appear as though there is anybody around. This one doesn't have bad guys in it. Always make sure your shield's on when you're in your PvP zone. And we're going to do the same thing. This one's a little different layout. So I'm going to grab this box right away. That had 7. It's awesome. We'll tank that explosions. But as you can see, there's not as many things in here. And this is not the box that you need to cut. Actually, this one right here. You can go ahead and cut that if you want, or if you come up here, there's a hole in the roof. You don't have to cut anything. That keeps you from dropping your guard. 13. And we are out of here. Finally remembered. Proud of myself. I don't like to go to the big ship because, I'm going to be honest, I get lost. And getting lost with radioactive death and destruction, I'm more worried about that than I am about running into another player. But, okay, so we're going to run over here and set all these bombs off. Only 1. That's silly. Okay, yeah, we're going to get stuck on everything. 7. I'll take that. There's no more that way. So now this door will be ready. It's just like the original one we went to. Thought for sure I set that off, but I guess I didn't. It's hard for somebody to hide here and wait for you just because, you know, there's the radiation to deal with. And another 3. That'll work. Just over 1/4, so that's good. So now we will take to the air. We'll get some height. That gets us out of the PvP zone. That, by the way, was the ship that it doesn't give me credit for. And you saw I was just in it. I don't know, I guess. You can see we're pointing directly at it, so I don't know why. We got one over here now. And then we got that one. And we can look around, see if there's any Thopters in the air or anybody else hanging out. It appears though there is. This one should be empty, I think. Yep. Just one. Make sure we set this bomb off this time. There we go. And we'll grab you. 4. Pull this out. Make sure there ain't nobody around hiding in the ceiling or outside. Three. Not the best visit to the old shoal, but okay, so at this point we're gonna head out of the radiation just to let it calm down, because we're getting close to half and I don't like to push it beyond that. So we're just gonna head due south. We're gonna head to this last ship, and for this, because it's not in the bad guy zone, we're gonna go ahead and switch out to regular armor. And there we are. So we're safe. That's where we're going to go. And we're going to click on this. And we're going to put on all these clothes. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I'm wearing the full set here. Alright. And that is because, like I said, this one's not, even though it's close, this one's not in the radiation zone. So. That's very close to home because we live right over there. This one, you have to be a little more concerned about because somebody could be hiding here and not, they can hide here a little better because they don't have to worry about getting poisoned from the radiation. That's what you get. Why are you wearing a radiation suit, dude? Got them both. Alright, so there's one more, and that's going to be the heavy chain gunner. I don't know where he's hiding now. There she is. Hi. Got me with that shock blast. I'm going to go ahead and patch myself up for a little bit. Hi. Man. I got some fuel cells out of it. Another 5. There'll be money in this one. 60. Set off this bomb, and this ship's nice because not only is there the irradiated slag chest, but there's also going to be a constellation chest in there. Make sure we don't have company. Perfect. Back there in the corner. So we're going to get our... Oh, only one. But there were 7 in that one. So yeah, we got 68. Like I said, 50 to 70 is pretty standard here. And now, because we have a base in Shoal, that's where we're going to go. Otherwise, we would just head back to home base, drop all this stuff off, and then we go do something else because it's going to take time for these guys to reset. If we're really hurting for irradiated slag, like I said, we can go into that big ship. There's a lot of people who have made videos on how to navigate that ship and do a pretty good solid runs with the irradiated slag. But I just don't, I can't see it. Like, hard visually to see. So I don't like it. Let's see. Do I have I don't think I have a box here that's empty, do I? Oh, this has got weird stuff in it. Okay. This will work. So what I'm actually going to do here. We have 68, which is awesome, right? I'm going to drop all of this stuff. That's a nice find. Bloodshot Buggy Mark 5. We'll go ahead and drop you as well. We'll bring that over. I don't need light darts, these things. Okay, there we go. So we're pretty tailored out. That'll work fine.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
So I was going to show you what we can do, which is called siege hopping. And what that is there are many different sieges in this world server. And you can go from one to the other without any hassle. You can't go from different world servers, but you can go from sieges inside yours. Let's let this storm go by. And I'll show you what I'm talking about and why it matters. Because we've got to wait for all that stuff to reset in order to go get more irradiated slag. And if you're relying on just your own Hagga basin, your own shoal, you are going to be limited. If you go into the ship and brave it, learn how to navigate it better than I do, you can come out with like 150. You know? I mean, we got 70 this time, and you get about the same inside that big ship. You just got to be careful. But I'm going to show you what we do here. So I'm going to go and I'm going to put my radiation suit back on, and we're going to fly in it. I want to make sure we're full of water and everything's great and awesome. Make sure we're empty here. Got some poured stuff in there. Let's go ahead and dump that in the box as well. I think I was going to go sell them at the market, but we'll do that later. All right, so we're going to get in, and from here I head due west. This will bring me out into the world map like I'm heading towards the deep desert or heading towards Arakeen. All right, so we go. All right, so now we're out here in the world, right? And I'm going to go escape. And we are going to exit to main menu. That's not quitting the game. This is exiting to the main menu. And here, if I do this, this will take me back to my Yarakuan, my server. But we're going to look at the servers. I'm going to take this. And let's see. Looks like... these servers are showing that there's nobody playing on them, right? So let's go... Doesn't really matter. There's one person on each one of these. So we're going to go to Siege Tabir, right? And we're going to join. Now, because this is within my own world server, this is me. I'm not going to have to start a new person. Not going to have to change anything. I'm still in my Thopter, and we're going to go right back in. And if you remember, we just left the monastery base, which is down in Shoal. So we go in the exact same entrance that we came out of. I don't have a base here. This is not my home. It looks exactly like it, but this is not my home. We're going to put our regular armor on again real quick. Right. So this is where the monastery base would be, but it's gone. We're going to come over here to this ship. Right here. That's a destroyed or dying base. Alright. Now these guys are back. That poison probably won't kill him, but I might be able to get a couple more shots into him. Get myself torn up.
Sector weather alert. A large
That's not
sandstorm
cool.
is approaching.
There should be one more somewhere. My God. Uh-oh. Skadoosh. Come on, dude. What? Can I block, please? Thank you. And down he goes. So when I run in here, guess what? All these chests have respawned. This is a different siege than mine, even though everything looks the same. So I can come through here and do the exact same thing that I just did and hopefully get another 50 to 70 of these guys.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Three and 5. We did pretty good, actually. We're already at 21, and this is the first place we stopped. So, one thing I do have to do here real quick, because we got a sandstorm coming, and I have no safe home here. So we're going to grab our tool. Come on, man. Thanks. And we're going to hide in here until this storm goes away. But we now have access to all these ships again. It still thinks I haven't been to this one or this camp, but we have. But all these ships have reset, so we can go hit them again. And you can do that on every single siege within your world server. So you can come down here, hit yours, go to the west, it's right off to the side. That kicks you off the map, go to the world map, exit to menu, go to servers on your own world server, pick a different siege, and go check it out. You can also combine going into the big ship, if you really wanted to, with this, and come out with even more. The issue I have with this is I don't like to throw things on the ground. I know I was just throwing a bunch of stuff earlier, by the way. See how it has a 1? It's a level 1 storm coming through. So, there you go. But, yeah, this is a good way to increase the amount that you could get. Normally, you're only going to be able to get so many, but you can siege hop, and that'll let you get more. If I were to go to the deep desert, it would be the same deep desert I usually have. If I had a base out there, it would take me directly to it. There's only one deep desert for every world server, multiple sieges inside. So, but we gotta let this storm go. I noticed there was a base that was in the process of decaying. Let's go check that out. Maybe we'll get some salvage. Tyrannosaurus Rex was considered one of the most awesome looking dinosaurs, and in the Jurassic Park movies it's the main dinosaur and everything like that. And people say, well, was it a predator or was it actually a scavenger? Which the answer to that is probably both. Any predator is also going to be a scavenger. Like, you really think a Tyrannosaurus Rex is going to come across a dead dinosaur and be like, I'm kind of hungry, and this is still good, but I didn't run it down and kill it myself, so I'm not going to eat that. No, I'll eat anything they come across. The same way, I'm a scavenger and a predator. Let's go away yet? Come on, man. Yep, pretty soon. So we'll go check out that base. While I'm here, let's go ahead and we'll just put this on, since we're not fighting anybody. It is strange to go where your base is, or supposed to be, and it ain't there. That's kind of crazy. Okay. So we'll come out here. Drop you. Go back to this. What do we got here? Anything? Looks like we are far too late for any kind of salvage. Everything is gone except that dingleberry there. But that's okay. It's not why we're here, right? So let's take to the air, and basically I'm just going to reverse pattern the way I did before. So we're going to go to the one that's up here first. And just work our way around. So we already hit the one behind us. We'll go here, then we'll go here, and then we'll go here, and then we'll be back out in the world map. Should probably be vulturing around in some of these areas, but whatever. Ah, bad things, bad things. Okay. Wee. Scared me. But I'm not really in a rush. There we are. So we're at 27 now in 2 ships. Didn't quite do as well as we did with the last one, but that's okay, I guess. This also works for resource nodes, although they might be in different places, except for ones like these where you've got the little modules that are actually inside the little pond things or whatever they are. This will also work for Sentinel City. You can come to your Sentinel City and fight your way through it and deal with that. Tell you what we're gonna do though, because I've never tested this, we're gonna go buy all of the fuel pumps from Zoe. And then we'll go see if she resets as well. I don't honestly know the answer to that. $7. That's a good haul. Thank you. Alright, so we got this one, and then the one that's over that way. Got a worm on patrol. Just hitting a quarter radiation poisoning, so we're good. Over here. Just 2. I'll take the explosion. It's worse things. Good lord, man. 4. And then finally, this is the last one. Then we got to go visit Zoe. We'll buy the pumps. Then we'll head back home to our natural home and go see if she has more. I'm kind of curious now. This ship will have bad guys. I could take them all, sword. Oh, I missed. Such garbage. Now I'm hitting the wall. I don't like hearing sounds that I'm not used to, you know? I don't know what that sound I just heard was. But we're definitely going to switch to sword. Just in case. 14, that's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. Sometimes if you're worried about people being around, that sound that the cutter ray just made is a very good indicator that something people will key in on. They hear that sound, they know that you don't have a weapon in your hand. So just be careful. I guess that was the noise I was hearing. That, and I guess it's a cat that wants to get in here. Alright, let's go see Zoe. And we're already out of the zone. It is very, very strange to be flying around here and not see any base indicators, you know? It's like... Oh my gosh, let me let this cat in. I don't know if you guys can hear that sound, but... What? What? Why do you care? Huh? Why is it so important to you? We're gonna crash. Come on, go. At least you want to come say hi to everybody? Good lord. It's going to jump up here, I know. Oh, look at that. My base is there, but it's not there. And look at all these Mos Koreans that haven't had their heads kicked in. So we won't know if this has a difference on it or not until we get ourselves back home and... There it is. Because the radiation suit's supposed to go up there. Boop. Okay, that'll be fine. Yay, we're jumping up and down. Alright, so we're going to come in here. We're going to talk to Zoe. She's right over here. Hi, sweetie.
Welcome back.
I want to trade. So we're going to scroll all the way down. And she sells 15, 2,500 a piece. They're a little pricey, but you know what? I'm willing to spend 37,000 Solari to not have to mess around with Sentinel City too much. Okay. You know, while we're visiting other people's neighborhoods, let's just head over to Sentinel City and I'll show you what I'm talking about. The bad guys aren't really a problem. Excuse me, they aren't really a problem. It's literally just the lag that kills me. So we're going to move all... I could actually drop that. We're going to move a bunch of the big stuff, big quantities over, because there is quite a few things to get while we're in here. Really don't know if I need any. I'll keep that because it's little. I don't want to get rid of some of this stuff because, you know, we might be trading it in. That's a big boy. All right, we're down to 85. That's not too bad. Everything else I think is real small. Looking at the volumes. That's like regular clothes. This is all stuff I don't really care for or need. 1.1, might as well, right? We'll get it over there. I don't think there's anything else. Ain't got no money. Spend it all. Spend it all with Zoe, that's why. Alright, that'll be good enough. They weren't kidding when they said about no one being around, huh? Maybe we should go back and hit the big ship and show. Alright, so it doesn't matter what entrance you go in. Whatever. You'll find the boxes all over the place anyway. So we want to make sure that we're armored. I am still suited right now, so that's a no-no. There we go. Full set. Make sure it's not anything silly. Perfect. We'll go here. Put on our shield. I'm going to stab most of these people. The things I say on my channel, man. It's crazy. Yes. I am here. Oh, that's not good. Alright, too many bad guys, plus another flamethrower. Caught me on the stairs. Okay, this is bad. Come here running my mouth, getting my ass handed to me. Come on, ladies. Oh man, I knew that was going to happen. Who's throwing grenades at me? So we got a little caught up there with the double melee people. And then we had a couple issues, but we seemed to sort everything out. He wasn't paying attention, so he's dead now. And what we're looking for in here are just regular old chests. They don't all have pumps in them, but a lot of them do. You can do a mix of sniping and stabbing. Sorry, I got distracted there. Aw. Usually they'll die with one shot from my spitfire or my spit dart. So just take your time, go through slowly. I was focused on something else. You can run through here and stabby stab. That'll work as well. Alright, so let's go up here and make sure there's nobody else needs. Yep. There's a box.
Where is everybody? Come on, let's get.
Oh, come on, dude. flamethrower dudes are annoying. Oh, we got a sniper up top. Hello. If you aim for the fire, usually works. Let's see if there's any pumps in here. There is. We got one. One pump for all this. Hold on. I want to go check up here. Sniper up top. There we got 7. So that's a big win. It's running better than it normally does. Check these rooms. There should be... Ooh. What do you do that for? There should be one up here somewhere, right? Yep, there it is. I ran right past it. No pumps in that one, though. Oh, don't worry, buddy. I'm coming for you. This one place that's interesting is here you get some spice residue and 11 sand. Like, cool. I'll take the sand. We got extra residue to get rid of. Wish I could get into these boxes. Got to be great stuff in there. Alright, see, it's getting choppy. I don't know if you guys can see it. For me, it's terrible. There's one pump. Another one. Some water if we need it. We've been using those a little bit. We do. So you get this special door right there, and come out here and kill that dingleberry. The band is right over here. So literally, you know, the next room outside. And what do you have in here? Anything I care about? No, I mean, I'll take the money. I guess I'll take these guys since I had the space. I don't care about meatballs or Dune scout jacket. We'll take that just because we are getting a little low. Just push the button like that. And we do have a constellation chest over here with nothing good. Got some money. We'll take it. House drill burst, drill shot. And that's about it. That should be money. A little tiny bit of money. Yep. So we technically could head back if we wanted to right now, but I'm not going to. We're going to continue. Boop. We're going to continue down the road here because at the other end of this, there's actually 3 entrances into Sentinel City. The one we came in. Oops, sorry. There's one up there where those guys are, but we're not going to worry about them. Hi. Did it wrong. What happened there? These guys can't really dodge. But anyway, yeah, the one we came in, the one that we just passed a second ago, and then this entrance here. There are quite a few boxes on this entrance. So that's why we're pushing through to continue to do it. But as you can see, there are definitely a bunch of bad guys. So we're going to poison homie right there. He's just going to stand there and try to tank it. It's not going to work out all that well for him. Cannot believe I missed. What garbage I am. We didn't miss twice, though. Doing alright over here, bud? Nope. You can just run up top here, because that's where the most of the stuff is. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's one. And we got at least one pump. And there's one over here. And we got 3. So I think there might be one down here, but we got to fight flamethrower guy and all this other nonsense just for one chest. And there may not be another one down here. But anyway. Somebody just tried to stab me. Have a good day, sir. Sorry, have a good day, miss. Okay. So theoretically, I can finish this and I can go back to my siege and go to my Sentinel City, which I do have to admit is running better. But this will all be doable again. I can go through it and fight these guys again. Sneaky little monkey. Didn't have much in it, but sneaky little monkey. Some ammo over there, but that's it. We already went up there. That's just falling apart. And there you go. Sentinel City. Hey, look. They either respawned or I left that person alive. Oh, they respawned. We took too long, guys. Oh, boy. What? Just trying to leave, man. Bye, douchebags. From here, we're just going to head straight north. That will bring us not far from where our base actually is. That's the entrance we usually use to go to the desert anyway. So. But we have to go to the monastery base on our own territory because we left some supplies down there. So we'll go to the monastery, we'll pick up the stuff that we left there, head back to, uh-oh, people. That's it, though, but hey, it's neat to see somebody. Somebody with the power on, at least. Those aren't turning, but they are. Good on you guys. Don't bother Sentinel City, I already cleared it. Well, actually go, because you could pull the chests too. Good to see somebody at least. Okay, so we're heading back to the world map. And like I said, I want to go down here because I'm going to jump in right on here. And again, we're going to hit escape and we're going to exit to menu. And now we're going to go to servers, back to Pelicar. And as you can see, this is where this is actually a guild base. This is my home base. And then this is where I'm at. That's what that symbol means, me and vehicle. So, we're going to go back home. And now we were able to farm not only our own siege, but also another one. And I could do that as many times as I want to. When we come back in here now, the monastery base will be right off to the right. And we're going to go see how much irradiated slag we put together between the two. Yes, mate. Boop. Ah, we're stuck. Before we get all excited about stuff, let's do a quick check on this base. Because this is part of Hagga as well. Let's see. 100%. We don't use the water down here very much. And let's see how long the power is going to stay on. That's bad. That's bad. This one's got 10 days. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into storage, and I'm going to pull this out. Oh, I can't because I'm full of crap. Alright, tell you what, we'll put some fuel cells in there. And we're going to take this, pull this over. I'm going to come over here. We're going to deposit all of them. Then I'll split this in half, take this back. So here I'm just buying myself a little bit of time. I got a couple days for these guys. It's not going to take that long. I'm actually going to go up right now. And we're going to get those lubricants that we're making. We're going to come back down here and fill this place up. For this base, oh, wait. Small water tanks. How long you guys got? 12 days. That's pretty good. 12 days will get you a long way. It's a good thing we came and checked, guys. 2 hours is no bueno. I don't believe I can make... I can make some. Don't have a lot of fuel cells, though. Okay, so what we can do here, we can turn this bad boy on, and we're going to make 7 of these, which will get us a bunch. And then we got to go get some fuel cells. So, come over here. You know what? Since we're here, I can just go ahead and... I don't know if I'm going to use it, but I can at least get rid of that. So we got 68. There. And 66. For a grand total of 134. Not bad for just a couple of runs in the same areas. So I'm going to do the same thing here we did earlier. I'm just cruising around looking for some fuel cells. I've actually brought spice residue down from the main base or from the deep desert, depending on where I was getting it from, to this area, just for the specific purpose. Oh man, come on, I don't want to go in there. Just so I could make filters and lubricant here out of that machine. That's really the only reason that machine is here. Let's head to the ship. Shut up. We don't have a worm sign. There's gonna say we should really have a worm sign. Not thrilled about it coming up hot like that, but whatever. Are we seriously not gonna put any fuel cells on the islands here? Unbelievable. Oh, piss off. Alright, fine. Fine. You happy now? Now we're going into the radiation game. So we only get 840 out of this because it's a Mark V buggy with a Mark V. I think it's a Mark 6 cutter array. Yeah, Mark 6 cutter array on a Mark 4 buggy. Easy. Got a little too close, folks. A little too close. I'm not getting out here to snag myself some plant fibers. We'll go ahead and skip those for now. For the love of God, come on. Alright, we're going to go into one of these little swoopy things here to get some jasmine. Might as well since we're here, right? I do like to do that as much as possible. I'm looking for fuel cells right now so I could make sure the base power stays running. So we came in here and you know what? We're going to mine some of these little outcroppings to keep the generators running, you know? So it's, you know, we're doing multiple things at once here. What's up, dude? Come on, man. How do these guys survive this long out here? Gotta be careful, make sure he doesn't come around the corner and start shooting at me. Oh my gosh, he's gonna get me. Unbelievable. Uh-oh. Come here. Come here, I gotta talk to you. Now I'm a little perturbed. You better have good stuff in here. You're so... 13 fuel cells, I guess. Do you have a second chest? Sometimes they do. And nothing good in here either. They're wasting my time. And this didn't have to happen this way. Ah, did that again. I was kind of hoping that the game would hear me say that I was going to come in here for Jasmine, and then it would start putting fuel cells all over the place, but I guess it's smarter than me. So we're going to head back. Hey, we got a lot of worm sign. Holy cow. Come on, get up the hill, get up the hill. I'm in danger. I'm glad we didn't keep going straight there. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. You just gonna chill for a second? Okay. Alright. Back on there. I just wanted some fuel cells so I could make some stuff, dudes. I don't know why you guys are getting this way. Didn't get many, but I'm sure we got enough. So, be okay. You got stuff in you? Yeah, it does. You got stuff in you? Oh, good. So you get that. And then you can get all of this stuff. And we're going to go upstairs. We're going to throw on as many of the lubricant as we can. Look at that. We make 77. We ran out of silicone blocks of all things. That's fine. We can get more of those. Okay, so this base will be okay. There is one thing that I want to do before we call it a night, which will be in the next... yeah, we got a little bit of time. Tell you what, we're going to put the... yeah, we're going to put the still suit on. Oh my goodness, walking around in our underwear, for God's sakes. There we go. And we're barefoot too. You can hear a little feet pattern. Okay. We're going to come back to this location, so I'm going to leave everything here. And we're going to head to the world map one more time. Let's refuel. Drink a bunch of water. Probably should have pulled it from the still suit, but that's okay. Confirm. We're going to head to Arakeen. I have already paid my taxes. When I went there, I also took a bunch of stuff and put it on the open market to see if it would sell. So let's go see if any of that happened. When I sell stuff on the market, I don't look to get ridiculous prices. I've seen some people up there that'll be like 25 million for this thing. It's like, dude, no one's going to pay that. It's not really worth that much. Although some people, have excesses of Solari. I remember when I hit my first million, I was like, ooh, look at me, king of the castle. But, yeah, there's some people that have a crazy, ridiculous amounts of money. I do not. So, when I come here to sell things, I in my head, I'm hoping that a person who really needs this item, that it's going to make a difference for them, is able to buy it and make use of it. Like whenever I sell like a taro cutter array, that's a great thing for a player who's just about to make it into the deep desert to have, because it can cut titanium and strontium. Not well, but it can do it. So it gives them that start. You get that from Shoals, so I'm down there all the time. I got a bunch of those things. But yeah, when I sell stuff, I try to get some value out of it, but I don't do these ridiculous money grabs that some people seem to do. I really hope that the stuff I sell at a decent price for a player who needs it is actually bought by somebody who needs it, not somebody who's like, holy crap, this guy's only asking 50,000 for this. I've sold him for 200,000, so he buys it and then immediately relists it for 200,000. that's not ideal. Even if that happens, you're making money, so kudos on him, you know. But I prefer to think that the stuff I sell goes to people who are going to make really good use of it, and I hope that it helped them. So let's go and see if any of the stuff I put up sold. I put up some schematics, and I put up some plastanium nuggets, since I have a whole bunch, and some cobalt and some stuff. So let's see my orders. So my taro cutter ray sold. I was only asking 50 for it. That I could probably get way more. I could probably get 200,000 real easy for that. But no, that's fine. I'm happy. So I will take that. Now I have the 50,000. Here's the rest of my orders. I got a Focus Buggy cutter ray. That one we put up pricey. Desert Garb, didn't know what it was. The rest of this stuff, put it down within what I think is within reasonable range for somebody. The plastanium and the cobalt, I put that up there for 1,000 and 1,500 each. That's nothing. So a player who's, you know, needs 10 plastanium nuggets to build something, you know, for 15,000 Solar, it's theirs. That's what I'm hoping happens. So nobody bought the rest of the stuff, but that's okay. Let's take a look at the market while we're here and see if there's anything worth buying. I need, I don't even know what that is. That's interesting. I need forge gloves. Womp womp. Let's see what kind of weapons we got. Basher's Command. Dart for every man. Look at that. I don't even think I have one of those. You know what? I'll buy it, because I'm pretty sure I don't have one. Multiple Basher's Command. See, look at this. This guy's selling Basher's Command for 700,000, and this guy's selling it for 120. Cool. Vehicle unique schematics. Anything worth it. Guy wants $1 million for 2 treads. Come on. I think you can buy them for like 80,000 or 180,000, not even. So that's a bit up there. I really hope that's not my taro cutter ray. I was going to sell some of these, didn't know what the price would be. I'll have to see if that sells. And 750 for plant fiber. That's interesting. Looks like there's nothing else here. So, like I said, I paid for my taxes, so that would be over there where the lion guy is. Right over there. But there you go. So I've got 160 or 120 or 138 irradiated cores, so I can make a buttload of spice infused fuel cells. That'll keep all the bases running. I've got the lubricant being made right now that's going to recover the monastery base, but basically in 2 hours of playing, I've covered every aspect. I've got the materials I need to produce the items. It'll probably take another half hour for all them things to be done and pop to where they need to be. Taxes I made sure were paid. Nothing broken, nothing dying. There you go. 2 hours, and we've set ourselves up for weeks of ignoring it now, if we so choose. I haven't looked into the deep desert, so I'm not sure what's out there this week, whether I want to go or not. We might just take a straight flight without building a base, just to get a feel of it, and if it's something decent. I may not do a standard base like I always do. I may just do a quick little outpost, build one without the without the scanner gun and do it that way. But yeah, I want to definitely take a break. We were trying to get 10K in melange from last week. We ended up with literally 10K and 200 extra. So 10,200 melange we were able to make out there in the deep desert last week alone. I didn't actually have enough space to hold what I already had plus that. So, sweet. We're back up to 300 plastanium dust. So, that's in great shape. Like I said, the only thing we missed out on was we got a full set of the Forge armor. We just didn't get gloves. So, that's on our list of things to get because we're one away, 4 out of 5. But yeah, here you go. One 2-hour session has now got me to the point where over the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I could just log in and go play and do whatever I wanted to do. Taxes are due every 2 weeks, but if you let it go, they don't get too mad. It's when you let it go multiple times. So theoretically, I could turn this off and not turn it back on until February and everything will be fine. So there you go. But with that, guys, we are going to call it a night here. I do appreciate everybody watching. Ozzy, it was good talking with you as always. Hope it's getting cooler down there. I saw that, was it the Flying Foxes? They had an issue with them down there with the heat, which is not cool. It's got to be sad to see. But you hang in there, try to stay cool, bud. And everybody else, as always, I will see you out there. Take care.